So let's dig in a little bit to the meat of this real quick. This is all educational. There's no selling happening here. This is our why. So this is when Tanner asked us to participate in this webinar. We said, look, we do briefings for a lot of our customers, cyber briefings, and this is the why we do all these briefings. And this is a unrelated to engineering story, but I like to start with the story. So back in 23, there's a company called First American. They're a fairly sizable insurance provider. In this case, they were providing insurance to the title business. All the agencies, when you go to close a home, they provide the title insurance. And they had a fairly significant data breach. That data breach included a list of agencies that First American worked with. We had started getting calls beginning part of 24 from one after the other agency, and we were doing what's called incident response, which is we come in and we get the bad guys out, we kind of put things back together, get the systems back up and going. And so we got called from a small agency ran by a lady named Lisa, and Lisa had told us, hey, there's been someone in our system, we think, for a couple of weeks, and we believe that that person has tricked the recipients of these wires and replaced our wire instructions with fraudulent instructions and effectively stolen 12 wires out of our escrow account, diverted them somewhere else. Now, Lisa was able to call the bank and get 8 of those 12 undone, but 4 of them actually got out. She lost about $500,000 out of the escrow funds. Now, once we're in there, we're working with her, we're working with First American, we're working with her cyber liability insurance. And so First American came back and said, hey, Lisa, guess what? We're not covering you. We're not providing the buyer and seller any coverages. You weren't doing all the things that you were supposed to be doing to protect your clients. We had it all in a contract and all the fine print. And so you're out of luck. She went to the cyber liability insurance and they said something similar. You know, you weren't doing X, Y, and Z that we had discussed as part of your policy and the stipulations, and so you're not getting covered by us either. Long story short, First American did make whole the buyers and sellers after like a month worth of wrangling. In that time, the buyers and sellers all filed lawsuits against Lisa. First American came back and said, hey, yeah, we made the buyers and sellers whole, but you owe us the money back. And then we broke the bad news and said, hey, by the way, you had an obligation for FTC compliance. You're going to get fined for that as well. And so she decided just to wrap up shop. She just bankrupted the company and walked away because the liabilities got to be so large. So that's when we kind of decided, hey, maybe it's better for us to be educational and get out in front of all this versus constantly putting people back together. And so that's where all this kind of educational series started for us and why we do these.